Guys, I'm gonna place you guys right here. We're gonna be resoldering this brand spanking new motor. I recently sold it to a local buddy of mine. So I know I normally do lives on Wednesday, but he bought it yesterday. He's picking it up today, so we're doing this today. What a perfect topic to go over, guys. This is a brand spanking new 2650 kV brushless motor from Castle. It's a 1512. And it's a hardy 8-scale motor. It really is. This is a sweet motor right here. And we're going to be replacing the wires. So what I mean by upgrade, we're going to be replacing the wires with some big old 8-gauge guys over here. So not only are we going up in gauge, we're also shortening them a little bit, which is going to help give a little bit more efficiency to the motor, more instantaneous torque, and less resistance with this guy. And this is a sleeper motor, it really is. You know, just because it's small doesn't mean it can't haul some ass. So, all right. Oh, let me get my board of awesomeness. Hang on. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Oy. I'm extremely unprepared. All right, that's going to obviously fall. Okay, stay. All right. Welcome back to Innovation RC Live, guys. How is it going? How is it going? Let me just get my comments up here, and I'm going to start soldering very shortly. I have the iron on. This thing almost burnt my arm. And, yeah, so we're going to allow this iron to heat all the way up instead of down. You don't want it to heat all the way down. That's kind of silly. Yeah, so, all right, so I got my comments right there. Alrighty, tidy lefty loosey. If you guys don't remember the board of awesomeness, I'll move this. If you guys donate, I greatly appreciate every single one of you who do so. Everything is used towards the channel to making it better. Yeah, so it's pretty much mainly used all for that. It's also used, you know, for equipment, just like this nice iron over here, getting Castle motors, better wire, doing all this stuff for you. Also, recommendations, ideas, help, and all that stuff I give out. So anything you guys decide to donate, I greatly appreciate. And if you don't, that's still okay. I still appreciate you guys joining the stream. All right, brand spanking new motor. It still smells like Castle. That's a bad joke. All right, we have our lead-free solder, and it does have a higher melting point. So when you have a higher melting point, that means you can put out more power for longer. And of course, if there is resistance, it will hold up a little bit better than if you were to have lower grade solder, basically. Yeah, so okay. All right, so iron should be just about heated up. This is my little whatchamacallit thing. It's used to clean the tip of the iron. Now, when you solder, guys, it doesn't matter if you have a $100, $200 iron. Doesn't matter if you have a $20, $30 iron. As long as your tip is clean. Your iron tip is clean. Make sure you use a little bit of flux. If it's an old iron, you know, you don't know, but you need to make sure you're hot in quick and fast out, because you don't want to keep the heat on it, because over time heat transfers and that will actually hurt the motors. So we want to be in quick, out fast. That's the principle of today. Okay, so I have my little doodad thing over here. I built a little motor holder for 8 scale, and I believe I could stretch it out to a 17 series. So what I'm just going to start by doing is just removing these leads right over here. How's it going, guys? How are you? How are you? I just got to clean this, repetitively scrub, and what super random hobbies, what iron do I use? It's a Weller 80 watt. You could, I don't know if Home Depot has them. I know they have this 60 watt version, but this is considered heavy duty or whatever. Just Amazon it. It's like 20, 30 bucks. And you can solder 8-gauge, 6-gauge wire with this. All you do is plug it in, let it chill for like 2-3 minutes, and it's hot. I don't need to spend a couple $100. And it's got an 8-year warranty, 7-year warranty. I use this on my 6-gauge stuff with lead-free solder. Your standard hobby shop iron will not solder that. And, you know, so you got to make sure you're hot in, out fast. I understand those guns, the super high wattage guns, those can have more wattage, but they're not as reliable. And I personally don't like them. I like holding a stick just like this. And it's perfect for 20, 30 bucks. Like, I'm not promoting Weller at all, but for 20, 30 bucks, you know, I'm using this. I'm using this. This is my personal iron. I don't use anything else. I tried the Hobby Shop iron, and it's cool and all, but, you know, with the dial, you adjust. No. Make sure it's as hot as it can go. Make sure you're quick with the heat. You know, you don't want to set it too low of a temperature. And what iron do I use? Yep, Super Random Hobbies, Chris Lang. Got to keep that tip clean. Yes, sir. That is the biggest thing. Oh, and my little fan. I have a little fan right over here. You guys might not be able to see it, but it's gonna suck all the fumes away from my nostrils. Let's see, Super Random Hobbies, and what? Hang on, I didn't see what you said, Super Random. Oh, and what temp? I mean, there's just one temp, and it goes all the way up. You know, just because you have a super adjustable iron doesn't mean, you know, it's best for whatever you do. You know, you need to know the power of your iron. And I know if I keep this iron on, and right now I'm just fluxing the tip, so we're keeping the tip clean. I'll actually bring this closer to you guys so you guys can see. All it is just like wax that cleans the tip, allows it to get all the crap off, the oxidation over time, all the burnt solder, all that stuff you don't want on a clean solder. It just heats up all the way. Just when you see the solder start to flow, you want to remove. You 1000% want to remove the iron. You know, you need to just know when to go in, when to go out, and that comes just over time with experience. As I said, you don't need a crazy adjustable digital iron. You know, you don't need that. And I'm telling you guys, it's cool and all, but I personally, I'll never spend over $100. I'll buy another one of these. And here's the thing: if I need anything bigger than this, I'm probably going industrial, and or open torch, in which open torch is extremely dangerous, and you got to be careful. All right, so here's our motor right here, guys. This is here, and it's my little holder. What I'm gonna do is just remove these leads. He's keeping the 6.5mm bullets, okay? But this is 10 gauge wire. If you guys can see, I gotta watch out for my arm over here, make sure I don't burn myself, and I've done that many times. We're going from 10 gauge to 8 gauge. If you guys can see, yeah, I could easily see the difference right there. 10 gauge on the bottom, 8 gauge on top. This is newly removed from a Castle motor, so it's brand spanking new wire, and he's using, I'm just transferring the 6.5s over to the 8 gauge, and we're shortening it. So not only are we getting less resistance, we're shortening the wire. It's also going to allow to dump out more power with less effort because the gauge wire is larger. It's just an efficiency boost, and yeah. Just cleaning up my work area. There's a little bit of diff fluid. I was cracking diffs open all last week. All right, so acknowledge where the tabs are. You guys see these tabs? This is where they're soldered. I don't want the motor pivoted up like that when I solder, and then the solder runs back. I kind of want it towards the ledge, and that's where it's going to build up and look nice towards the end, you know. So you actually want to use gravity to your advantage, and I'm dead serious. The way you position your motor, the way you position anything, that's where the solder is going to flow. And if you have it like a certain way, solder is going to flow down, and it's going to look like poop. It's going to look poopy. That's not how we do it here. That's not how we do it here. All right, so I just cleaned the tip. What I want to do to activate more of the heat transfer, you put a little bit of solder on the tip. I got to get a new one of these little metal brush things. They just keep breaking on me. You just want to put a little bit of solder on it because it's going to allow more heat to flow directly to wherever it's going, you know, without having direct contact with the tip. 1, 2, 3, 3 seconds, like that. And that was a factory solder from Castle, and they use good solder. They don't use that hobby store solder. They use industrial irons, you know. $20, $30 iron. I can't even make it up to you guys. This is a solder. I didn't preheat it. Let's time it again. Let me just put a little bit of activation. Just a dot. That's all you need. I'm gonna do the end one now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. It's like 2.8, 2.9 seconds. Probably 3. Instantly came off. I'll do it to this one. 1, 2, 3. I don't know, 4, 5. Okay, so it probably didn't make as much contact. Either way, you want to make sure your solders are about that long with the iron on it, and you know. So here we go. our motor has no wires. Oh my God. Okay, so we can actually still use the solder that's on there because I know for a fact they have good solder. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to keep these like this, and I have a brand new set of 6.5mm bullets that we're going to use for, his name's Calvin, that we're going to use for Mr. Calvin. No, it's not that Chinese, whatever, the rebranded bullets where they look like castles and they're not polarized and they're just not good quality. No, these are all genuine castle stuff. So whenever I replace bullets for anyone, whether it's a build, whether it's an electronic, anything, it's all genuine stuff as if it's factory. So we have our 3 6.5mm bullets right there. How's it going, guys? We got 26 people in here. That's pretty awesome. How's everyone? Thanks for joining Innovation RC Live. We are upgrading a brand spanking new motor from Castle to 2650 V2. So it's a brand new V2, brand new from the box. Still smell the new on it, and we're putting larger gauge wire on it. We are also shortening the length as well. He wants it about 5 inches, so that's what we're gonna do. Where are my nippers? We're gonna want to nip these things off. Let me move this away from my arm because I'm gonna catch myself. All right. I'm just gonna cut this off. We're gonna start square. Woo! Yeah. Whenever you nip off the wires, you just need to be a little bit careful, because they could just go flying, and you just, watch. Let's see how far we can make this one go. Woo! Not that far. The other one hit the ceiling. That one got some height to it. All right, gotta have a little bit of fun. I'm also immature, so whatever. Now we're gonna want our skizzers, and keep in mind I'm starting from fresh. This is removed from another Castle motor. They're brand new 8-gauge wires, and yeah. So now I'm gonna want to actually take some of the insulation off. Taking some insulation off, not too much, because keep in mind 8-gauge wires for a larger motor with larger tabs. So you want to pretty much use the appropriate amount of I don't know, insulation stripping. So check this out. You guys can see that? That's about a quarter. It looks to be about 1/8 of an inch. So 1/8 of an inch of what you're going to want to strip off of each one. They don't have to be exact, but that's what you're going to want to do. 8-gauge wire on this size motor tab. You guys can see down there. Those motor tabs are not as big. So when you get into the larger scale things, you're going to see larger motor tabs. Just like the 1721, the Castle Speedrun motor, they were originally going to use these tabs originally when it was in alpha testing, and I said, no, how big this motor is and how much amps it's going to draw, you need a bigger tab. Plus, if you're running 8-gauge wire, it's going to be like using 8-gauge wire in a 2mm bullet connector. You're not going to be able to put out all the power efficiently and effectively, and yeah. But if you go oversized wire with undersized tabs, that's always a good thing, but you just got to do it right, EJCR, what is up, Ed? Good afternoon, guys. I'm stopping by to say hi and drop a like. Thank you, Mr. Ed. I appreciate that. No worries, no worries. Work never stops. Work never stopped. Yesterday was my birthday, and I worked all day yesterday. It does not stop. But that's okay. I like what I do. Okay. Now, oh, not yet. I mean, I guess what I could do first, though, is now we're going to want to tin these. I'm trying to find a way that I could, like, put this over. Connection issue. It's all good. I'm still here, guys. I'll let you know when I leave. If I randomly pop off, it's because the connection here is just horrible. But I'll be moving in a couple weeks all the way up to Tallahassee, and hopefully, the connection will be a lot better. It should be. The houses are built 2 years ago. This place is built in like the 40s during World War II. Super Random Hobbies, happy birthday. Thank you. Trailblazer, happy birthday. Thank you. Kevin Smith, happy birthday. Oh my God, thank you guys. Thank you so much. It's actually yesterday, but I wanted to make sure that, got a live in this week, because last week, unfortunately, we were unable to live together. no big deal. But 1000%, I wanted to get another live in. 1000%. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Kevin, Ayush, Saris Rex, Main P. Thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate the happy birthdays. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now all I'm doing is just adding solder directly to the end of this wire. And you want to make sure that it goes all the way through. Keep in mind 8 gauge is a larger gauge wire. So you want to make sure you get enough heat into it to where the solder can flow all the way up and bring itself all the way down where gravity, where gravity is going. Thanks, Ed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really love your big rock build. Do you recommend? Thank you. I appreciate that, Ayush. Yeah, so the big rock, I mean, are you talking about, do you recommend, hang on, I can't see because this stupid heart thing is in the way. Do you recommend to build that build? Well, I mean, with a 2028, like a big motor, you don't need that kind of motor to do the identical thing. You don't, honestly, I actually built, if you guys are on Instagram at all, Chimpy Peppers, I built his exactly how I would love to do a regular, I mean, not a regular, like a respectfully upgraded big rock. 1721 1260, so it's like 2 steps, it's larger than the 1717 1260 kVs, so it's still got all the torque in the world, and it's not as crazy heavy as the 2028, because the 2028, that's for like a 20-30 pound vehicle, in which the big rock is not that, so it's just way too big of a motor. I purposely ran the 2028 in the big rock for Tail the Dragon just because I wanted no heat issues. I didn't even want to put a fan on it. I wanted to make everything run as efficient as possible, and it did. But if you're just going to bash around, I would go with the 1721 1260. That's going to be like the cream of the crop for a 7 scale, and it bolts right into the stock motor mount. You don't have to buy an upgraded motor mount. For the 2028, though, you do, because it's got wider bolt patterns. Okay, that's one. Nope, that is not good. So notice how I'm checking all the way around the wires. You want to, you 100% want to check. Oh my God, I'm doing a horrible. Maybe I should just move this here. You want to check that you tin the wire all the way around, because you don't want to put bare wire on the contact point of wherever you're soldering, because it's not going to hold until it's like all the way soldered through. It's hard to explain it perfectly, but while there's still heat on it, you want to make sure you do it now and do it and get it done right. Making sure this is tinned all throughout. Instead of letting it cool again, then reheating all the way back up, do it while the heat's already on it. As I said, in fast, or in quick, out fast. Okay, so we have 2. And this is literally what I do with every kind of solder that I do. I make sure it's, on point. I don't want a single millimeter of the wire untinned. That's just the way that I am. And, people want you to work on their stuff. You need to make sure you're on point. You need to be about as on point as what robots are, because if you screw up, it's going to come back on you. You're not going to look good. If that person opens its mouth to anyone else, you're losing. I mean, not saying you have to do it for a business, but let's say you're doing it in general. You don't want someone asking you, is your build quality good? Let's see. Kevin Perkins, thank you. Antonio Pagan, thank you guys. Thank you guys for the happy birthday wishes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Random Hobbies, thank you. Oh, Kevin. Oh, shoot, it's your birthday too. Everyone, happy birthday to Kevin as well. Happy birthday to Kevin. Birthday, awesome. Okay, all right. Now we need the last one done. Keep in mind with the larger gauge wire, it's going to take a little bit more time on the actual wire to tin it, because it's just more wire. What you could also do, if your iron isn't as sufficient, put the wire, like the tip of the bare wire, into flux, like what I was, like that stuff that I was cleaning the tip with of the iron earlier, you put the whole wire inside of it, and that'll actually help distribute the heat all throughout the wire. And hopefully you guys can see. Oh, I forgot. I think there's a zoom feature. Let me see if I could just zoom in a little. Show you guys. All right. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Beep, 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 beep. Can I zoom in with the back? Oh my God, I can. Check that out. That's amazing. Okay. Either way, now that I have you guys up, I'm just going to show you straight up. And with the light of this little iron, this is an eBay, not eBay, it's an Amazon iron, guys. This thing is just amazing. So you guys can see the wires right here. They're all identical. All the tip all the way around. I'm going to try to turn it around while you guys seeing it. It is 100% tinned all the way throughout. Oh, wait, is that? Yeah, that's tinned. Okay, I just had to make sure. That is tin. It's not going to look identical all the way throughout unless you add more solder, but you need to make sure each and every... Oh, I got to tin that. See, I caught myself. But, you know, guys, the right way to do something is the right way. All right, so it's on that side, so we want to add solder to that side. Keep in mind, the direction that you have the wire or the solder flowing, that's going to dictate where the solder is going to go. So as I said, that's why I flip the wire around to redirect the solder once I heat it all up again. 1, 2. This one needs a little bit more, so it needs it on that side. Just making sure I cross my T's and dot my I's. Can we do this before I run out of solder? I think this is the last bit of it. I only have like a few swirls left. Okay. Oh, hang on. I think someone asked me, how do you contact me? Dan Amadia. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I stutter. You can contact me on my email, or you can contact me on Instagram. Instagram under Innovation RC, obviously the same name as this YouTube channel. Email Brandon MP7, as in the Modern Warfare 2 submachine gun. That guy, my favorite all-time submachine gun. BrandonMP7@gmail.com. That is my email address. If that's more convenient, does not matter. Usually I'm more responsive on Instagram because I'm usually on there every other day. Okay, so now here we go. Ooh, these guys are kind of hot. So keep in mind, the longer that you actually keep an iron on it, heat's going to transfer. And now we have all three of our guys right here. All these guys right here are tinned. So that was step 2. Brandon, what's the difference? What's the difference? The motor castle 15, 2200 and the V2. Okay, so V1 and V2. This is actually a V2. I put a specific video out on the 2200, I think a year or two years ago at least, when they came out with the first version 2 motors. And this is a V2 2650, so it's almost the same thing what you're talking about. I could spin the motor a lot easier. You can see how it's spinning. The magnets aren't weaker, they're just not grabbing on, the magnets aren't magnetized to the stator as, I guess, strong or something, but it minimized magnetic flux, increased efficiency. It's just a different magnet setup in the motor. So V1, V2. With a V1, you'll hear boom, 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 boom. And then this, you'll hear a little bit less than that because it's just easier. If I had a V2, you see how it's spinning like 2-3 times? This would probably only make it around once if it were a V1. Both are still good motors. Both are still good motors. It's just a different magnet style. Okay, so now we have our motor right here. Let's send it on it. Yeah, Instagram is definitely easier. And notice how I have something to hold. You know, you can either do this or... Where's my cutters? I actually like using the cutters because it's kind of like a rubberized handle right here. So it holds the motor just like that. Super easy. And you see how I have it slightly pivoted down. That's where the solder is going to want to slightly go down this identical. You guys see exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is what I'm looking at. Solder's not going to go straight down. It's going to go like this because of gravity. So it's going to go kind of down left. That's where we want the bubble of the solder. So at the end of it, it's going to look nice. It's also going to look OEM. So I know I said 6.5, so I'm going to be doing that after. So meanwhile, I'm just going to do one at a time. Okay, I have my spoolie out. I have the fan on right there. And keep in mind, you want to not be super fast, but you want to make sure the solder goes all the way, you know, all the way through. Let me see if I could, hopefully you guys, I'm going to try to zoom in on this without killing myself with this iron. Colossus's top speed, oh my god, his top speed is like 18, 17 miles an hour. It's nothing crazy. But keep in mind, he could pull a bus. He could pull more than a bus, you know. All right. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. We're learning here today, guys. I'm learning how to do this much nicer. So if I'm doing this, am I in your way? I don't know. So let me know if this view is good for you guys. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Because I'm going to 1,000% invest in a tripod when I'm up in Tallahassee and once I move. You sell fully modified RC projects? I mean, I could modify them. Oop, there I am. Hi. I could do that. You know, but depending on projects that I make, they're pretty expensive. So generally, I would say no. The most modified thing that I do would be the Midnight Typhon, and that's an OEM Typhon just built to my spec right from the factory, and it's built nice. All right, Mr. Dan. Yeah, so definitely contact me anytime, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Mr. Ed. All right, Mr. Ed. Have a good day. Take it easy. Easy peasy. All right, so here we go. What I'm going to want to do again, okay, so right here. I'm going to want to put some solder on the tip. Oh, hang on. Let me flux this thing because I want it clean. Yeah, I got to get a new thingy. Woo! Smoking fire, guys. Smoking fire. You want to purchase this? Oh, yeah, sure. Just contact me and we will discuss it further. All right. So now look at that tip. You want it to be a chrome. Jaden Dixon. Sorry, I misdid that. How's it going? How's it going, buddy? All right. So now what I want to do first is just slightly all I'm doing is priming it. So I'm putting a little bit of solder, but I'm also making sure that contact point is also what's it called? Hot, you know. All right. So now I'm doing it. I'm holding it. Now, it's hard to see on your guys' end, but I just got to make sure the solder goes all the way through from the top to the bottom. That's why I started with the bottom being hot, so I don't have to keep it on as long. All right, so there you go. That's our first solder, and it looks pretty average. Pretty average. Well, that's okay because we have to add more. But I'm not going to do that just yet because now we're going to add our second one. So I'm basically just adding the wires, and then we're going to refine how they look shortly after. Oh, I'm going to add a little bit of little bit of solder. Always add a little dot of solder on this right here. Just trying to make sure my eyes are looking right. %99 of the time, you're not going to get the desired amount of solder on there. So we could always go back after and add a little bit more. Which is not a big deal. Where's the last one? Here it is. All right. Maybe I should hopefully you guys can see. I don't know. I'm trying to zoom out here. Or maybe in. I don't know. All right, I'm just going to try to point this in the right direction. Oh, I should have started this way. Actually, no, because I'm still going to use the iron on it. All right, so this is the last tab right here. Oh my God, my nails look ugly. Oh my God, that zoom is crazy. That's crazy. All right. I didn't know my back camera could zoom like that. Oh, I'm going to have to change positions of my arm. All right. So iron is coming out like this. Make sure all the wires are in the right direction. Hopefully you guys can actually watch the solder flow down. Okay. Right there. And we just got to keep it on because we need the heat to transfer from top of the wire all the way down to the tab. This is really hard to multitask. I love you guys, but this is really hard because I'm trying to make sure I get the right angle. All right. Shortly it should be hitting the tab. Ouch. You guys see it? Ow, 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 ow. Oh my God, that is hard. All right, before I screw anything up, I need to get this back in my direction. But I hope you guys saw the flow of the solder actually go kind of down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to correct it a little bit. Again, we want the iron on the motor as little as possible. That's the name of the game here, guys. Let's see, let's see. Oh my God, I'm so much better this way. Now I'm adding a little bit more. Looking under, seeing when the bottom of the solder lets loose again. Okay. All right, not bad. Yeah, you don't want to go any larger wire with this at all. Just give me a few seconds, guys. Need to concentrate. Oh, we don't want that. You guys see that? It still wants more solder. I think the wire's still absorbing some of the solder. And I'm not going to keep putting heat on the same one. I'm going to keep switching because we want to make sure the motor's got time to cool a little bit. Go, Bessie, go. Go, Bessie. Hang on, guys, hang on. Ow. Hands are hurting. Oh, I have this thing. Such an idiot. Yeah, so this thing right here is this I could hold the wire with and not burn my hand. It's a very useful tool. I'm probably going to want to use the center or the side of the chisel tip. I'm I'm going to go to the middle one now. I'm just making sure I don't keep all the heat on one identical lead. And in all reality, we could have been done by now, but I want this looking, I don't only want it like done right, I want it to look good, you know? There's only so much I could do with this massive chisel tip. Get the solder all even. I'm going to give the motor a little bit of a break. All right, so we got one done. There's two more to go. All right, let me check up on comments real quick, guys. Hang on. Oh my God, I'm ugly. The Zoom does not like the Zoom. Let's see. Okay. Ayush, Source Rex, do I recommend a fifth scale to a beginner? No, absolutely. Well, not a complete beginner. If you want a big scale, you know, you could. You know, I'm not against them, but they're expensive. They get expensive real quick. I believe by seeing this famous quote from Bobby Jones on Jack Nicklaus, I played the game, which I'm not familiar. Oh, yeah, with the soldering ed. Do you think Arrma will make a fifth scale Big Rock or Fire team? I don't know. Maybe. I don't see why they wouldn't. Sorry if you've mentioned it before, but do you need to increase the wire gauge? I've been teaching us how to do it. If you mentioned it, but why do you increase wire? Oh, so I said that earlier in the video. Super random hobbies. So increasing wire gauge, he's going to need it at least 5 inches regardless. So when you put out power, this is going to actually go in a no prep 6S drag car, in which this motor could be perfect for that. You know, so larger gauge wire, even if you save 5-10 amps over the 10 gauge, that's a big difference. And you know, so 8 gauge wire is less resistance under a lot of load, and those drag cars, they pull a lot of amps. They most certainly do. So yeah, that's why we're doing 8 gauge wire for sure. Yep. Thank you, Ed. Amazing work. I try to be as amazing as possible. I try. I just don't want it like not perfect. I want it perfect. I want it slightly to the left. Okay. That's number 1. Yeah, I don't want to use the wide flat end, the chisel tip. Yes, sir, Mr. Main P. We're in class. It's not a day where I myself don't learn something, whether it's RC related or anything else. I still learn myself. Perfect. I'll leave off with that one. I want it to visually be pleasing as well. That's what I want. Because when someone buys from me, you know, it's not just like, all right, here you go. I just don't like doing the all right, here you go, you know. I mean, unless if they don't want anything done to it. But if they want, you know, something done, my name's on the line, and I want to make sure they're like, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. He got me right. That's what pays almost as much as money. It's when people respect what you do. And you got to make sure when you're doing this, you do it right, because this stuff does get expensive. just trying to make sure. So close with that one. It's a mixture between the old and new solder. That's why it's not wanting to be like, all right, I'll listen to you. Just know I'm going from lead to lead, making sure that I don't heat one up too much because you don't want to overheat the coils. Courtney Dickey, hello, how's it going? Welcome to IRC Live, Innovation RC Live. That's what IRC is. I'm funny. Oh. Thank you, Melvin. Thank you, Melvin. Oh my God, thank you. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Thanks, guys. There you go. That's number 2. So not only do I like the actual wire holding onto the, oh my God, the wire holding onto the tab. So like this is the wire. I don't like the solder only being on here. I like the solder kind of holding to the whole tab with the rest of the wire. You know, that's what I really want. Keep in mind when you use the crappier solder, it is actually easier to solder because it has a lower melting point. So it's going to be easier to make good work. Doing it with this wire, this is a bitch. A B word, a B word. It's a B word. What time is it? Oh my God, I have no watch. Oh, check that out. I can really see my wristband. Oh my God. Farmer's tan for my watches. Gonna make sure we get enough heat, and then we are popping right back out. Ouch. Just about good. Yeah, so keep in mind when you put more heat on it, the wire likes to suck in more, a lot more solder in. So doing this to make sure the wire and the tab's got enough solder and it's not going to be a cold solder is definitely worth it, but make sure you don't keep the heat on for too long. There we go. Mother, father, sister, brother, that's hot. Well, that's what we want. We want hot. We like it hot. All right, so that's good. It's not going to be perfect as much as I'd love it for it to be perfect. It's as perfect as what I'm going to want to keep wanting to apply heat with. If I do more and I keep doing heat back and forth, eventually the solder's going to want to run off and or touch the other side of the tab. But you guys see right here, it's hard to see. I don't know, but this is pretty damn good. Not only does it cover the whole solder, oh my God, the whole wire, it also covers the solder tab as well, without any runoff. Now it looks professional, it looks decent with larger gauge wire. So check this out, you know, 1512, 2650 with 8 gauge wire. I think Castle should offer this option for another like 10 bucks, 15 bucks. If you're gonna put the same exact motor through like heavy turmoil, that would be worth the 10 bucks. Okay, so now we're gonna have to do step 2, which is a lot easier. Here's our little cutters. Bam. All right, let's see. What's the best gearing with the 1721 2400 kV Castle and 8S? What car? I mean, best gearing. That's like, what's the best real car? You know, you got to be a lot more specific. Do you have an Arrma Gorgon, Courtney Dickey? No, I do not have an Arrma Gorgon, but I built on Instagram, if you guys follow me on Instagram, Chimpy Peppers. I built his Arrma Gorgon with a Castle 1412. That truck is sweet. When I get my next 2-wheel drive monster truck, I will be getting a Gorgon because I put the hardened steel gears in it. Oh my God, the way it's built is just, it's something me as a mechanic technician, I appreciate how it's built so modular. I love how the Gorgon is. I want one. I personally want one. Two-wheel drive Stampede, it's great, but I feel, you know, I feel it's a great truck. But no, I do not have one yet. All right, Limitless Perfect Pass Chassis XLX2 ESC. I mean, what speeds are you looking to do, and what's the fastest you've gone? Because it really depends on what you've done, what you haven't done. That motor is not for beginners. I cut off a few times with that motor. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we could do. Oh, they're my cutters. I guess we could do it slightly shorter. Just want it to be as even as possible. Every little bit of this. Every little bit of this. Yeah, I mean, giving out gearing is like, you know, what's the best food to eat? I mean, are you lactose intolerant? Are you vegan? In which I do not know the answer to that one. I wouldn't know what the best thing is to eat if you're vegan. But there's so much that goes into it. There really is. You know, so for me to direct you properly, I would much rather, you know exactly what you're doing. Fastest I've gone was it's not looking, 100. So just want to see how fast I can get it. I mean, why I wouldn't even, if you've only done 100, you down at all. 100 is fast, but in the speedrun world, that's just getting started. Run 4S, run 6S with that motor. With that motor on 6S, I've done 147 testing, and that was by mistake. I didn't intend to go that fast on 6S. 8S, you know, you could do 170s, 180s. It depends on the road that you run on. You know, but you need to be careful with that motor. Start off low. You know, if the stock spur with the Arrma Limitless is like God, I don't know, like a 39. Go with like a 29 pinion, 30 pinion, something around there. But here's the thing: run it on 6S. You're gonna friggin' fly past 100. You know, you'll fly past 100. Fly. All right, so here, all I did was cut. I guess this is about 5 inches, maybe. It's always good to have a little bit more and not need it than need it and not have it, I guess. So I cut these very nice bad boys off. This is an 8mm bullet. We are not throwing those away. And we have to put 6.5mm bullets on. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, iron is still on, so still gotta be careful for my arm. I just heard with that motor you gotta gear it low. Yeah, you gotta gear it low. I mean, with this motor, I've done 120 before with not crazy gearing. This motor on 6S is actually great. This 2650, it's an amazing motor. And it doesn't draw a lot. It's easier on the battery. You know, the 1721, you need to get good batteries. You need to have a long road. You need to make sure you do the car right. Because if you have a crazy motor and you don't do it right, it's only gonna, the repercussion is it's gonna hurt you at the end. And I feel that 2400, that's a 6S motor based on the KV. If it was 2200 or 2000 KV of that same can size, I would say 8S would be a great RPM for that. But regarding RPM, run that thing on 6S. Don't even touch 8S. Yeah, so that's true, genuine advice, guys. True, genuine advice. And I'm not gonna, lie and say, yeah, just run 8S. No, that motor can blow your ESC up, can blow your batteries up. If you don't do good soldering, you're doing yourself an injustice, because you can do 120, 130, 140 with this motor. Not even on 8S either. You don't need a carbon jet. You don't need any of that crazy stuff if you want to go fast. It's good stuff. It is. But advice is free, but it's hard to, and it's genuinely hard to know when you're getting good advice, because, you know, if it's free, it's easy to come by. It's too good to be true. You know, I'm going to tell you guys straight up. And that's why I like doing these streams. I appreciate, you know, you guys watching my stuff. You guys appreciate my advice. And I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've screwed up a lot. And the worst thing I can do is, you know, worst thing I can do is give out bad information. I'm going off my own tool. I'm going off my own data and stuff, you know. And I want you guys to be safe when you do it. You know, I want you guys to keep watching the live stream. I don't want you to blow your face off, you know. But yeah, that's a crazy motor. You got to be careful. All right, where are my vice grips? Now. Stay back up. There you go. Now I have the bullet over here, and this is just kind of a system that I do when soldering bullets, because obviously I can't hold it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, this whiteboard, that's for anyone who donates to the channel. I'm going to say it again. I think we're about an hour into this. So if anyone donates, they're going to get up on the board of awesomeness over here. So if any of you guys, you know, you guys get advice, you guys get good advice, you know, I don't mind helping you out. All proceeds help to benefit the channel, and also I will give you genuine advice. I want to see you guys win. I want to see you guys win, you know, without having to spend a whole friggin' wallet. You know, donating will actually allow me to do this more often and, you know, chat with you guys, and I appreciate all of you guys who do so. And if you don't want to donate, that's still okay. I'm just a chill guy. Now we're going to clean off the tip once again, and we're going to tin these wires. Always tin your wires. So before we even do that, we're going to tin these wires. I'm going to start off small. Hell, run 4S. You might break your 100-mile-an-hour record on 4S. Start like 29, 39. Start off something like that, and run it on 4S. Get used to it, you know. I hope you have an XLX ESC to go with that. Can't run an X8S. X8S is unfortunately not enough at that point, based on the can size and kV ratio. Motor does not, ESC does not like that motor. I mean, it does, but if you overdo it, and it's easy to overdo that motor, the XLX could just take a little bit more. I wouldn't even touch 8S until you're above 140, to tell you the truth. Just keep your setup easy and simple. Make sure you stay on top of what your setup is. Bring a notepad and paper out. You know, as young as I am, you know, I used to work on GT3 series endurance cars, real cars, and every single setup that we did, we wrote down on a notebook. And I actually used that. You know, mentality with the RC cars, and that's how I figured out stuff. That's how I got faster, and that's how I learned. You know, with Spartan, I have probably chapters, like, oh my god, between 5 and 10 pages of just setups, what I've changed, what I've done, what I've been had. You know, all that stuff matters, and if you can actually see what you do different, and you see the difference, you'll teach yourself. You will teach yourself. You know, you'll teach yourself how to go faster. Like, what happens if I gear down? I geared 2 teeth down in Spartan, and I broke my 150 for the first time in 2020. Oh my god, I was hitting bricks. 153. My best was 148. Could not get faster. I tried going up in the gear, tried heating the batteries, overcharged, whatever. Didn't happen. I geared down 3-4 teeth. I was like, screw it. I'll see what happens. Broke 150, 153. I did not sleep that night. And at that time, 150 in 2020, 150 miles an hour, I think that was top 5 in the world. Top 5 in the world at that time. Because I think the fastest was only like 160 at that time for an Arrma. You know, so 153, that's not too far. And then after that, I changed some things. Got new batteries, 155, 159, and 160 on the dot. And then I stopped there. I hope I didn't throw away my little notebook, but get a notebook. Doesn't matter. I have one, there's sharks on it. It's cool. You know, have fun with it. Write in it in pen, so it's like, you know, nice. You know, do yourself right with that kind of setup, because running these motors are cool and all, but you need to know a bit of this RC world before going with that motor. Personally, I haven't ran that motor for speed just because it's a little bit too aggressive. That's it. It's a great motor, but I think it's a little bit too aggressive, and I personally like the 1100 Castle. You know, you could skin a cat many different ways, get the same speed, doesn't matter. But the 1100, that's what I ran in Spartan originally, and that was a great. I mean, it still is a great motor. That's one motor that I'll never leave. And then I have a couple TP motors, and those are even more aggressive. You just got to be careful with those, because those things suck the battery life out. Still tinning, guys. Got to make sure we tin all the way around. Okay. Make sure there's enough heat on it. Ooh, that's hot. Let's see. 1 done. Let's see. 2 done. Let's see. 3 done. Ooh, that's really hot. Okay, notice how I didn't tin the bullet, and normally I do that actually, but we're not doing that right now. I'm gonna let it cool for a little bit, and I'm gonna catch up on some comments here. I could probably put this over here. All right, let me see. Comments. XLX2. Yep. What's your opinion on new motors? New motors are great. You know, they're good motors, but you don't need a $500 motor to do 100 miles an hour, or 140 miles an hour. You don't need it. You know, they're great motors. They are. But and I'm including myself in this. I said this in the last stream actually. I had a couple new motors. Those motors are really good, but I still don't have the ultimate knowledge to get the upper 95 to about 98% of that motor out in performance. And with how much it is, I sold it. I bought a couple TPs and paid a bill. It's a $600 Steve New motor that I had. You know, you don't need all that motor, and I ended up going faster with TP. And you know, not that TP is a better motor, because everything depends on the time that you're willing to put into it. And you know, TP is great. I feel TP is the best bang for the buck. Castle is the best bang for the buck regarding efficiency, and in order to go faster, you know, you need efficiency. So not everything's about brute power. But let's see. Spectrum 85 amp ESC 4000 kV motor. Yeah, you could run that motor, Courtney. 4000 kV. That's a pretty high RPM motor for a 10 scale. I probably just run that on 2S. And if you want more speed, you know, just gear it up. You don't even need to touch the 3S with that. It's gonna keep popping wheelies everywhere. It's a great truck. I want a Gorgon. Coach, what's up, Mr. Coach? How are you? Once I'm done with this, I gotta hit the gym. I'm running late. Oh my god! And then I have 4 more groms to do. And I'm leaving in 18 days or something like that. I don't know. What's up, Coach? All things RC, that's my problem. So all things RC, regarding C rating normally is bullshit. And I'm saying that straight up. Usually if there's, and I'm gonna call out Maxams for that, they used to be really good, and they said true 150, true 100, whatever C. Those are some of the worst batteries on the market. You need to be careful. You actually need to see what batteries can actually perform. And you could tell that by looking at your data logs from your Castle ESC. Looking at your Castle ESCs, you'll be able to see like what your voltage drop is. The less voltage drop you have under load, the superior battery that it is, or you know, less of a, you know, demanding setup you have. but that's the thing. Like, I mean, it could have been just a better battery, absolutely, you know. But don't think that, oh, I went to a higher C rating that made you faster, you know, because half the time, more than half the time, a lot of the C rating, I ain't just going in. I'm probably just gonna torch it. Where's my torch? Half the time, all these battery manufacturers, they over exaggerate the C ratings, and you know, it's the name of the game. There's no real way to find C rating. Like, how do you know 93 octane going into your real car is really 93? I don't test it. I mean, you could test it, but no one tests it. I don't test it. Just got to be careful out there. CNHL makes amazing batteries, amazing performance per dollar. SMC, they make some really good batteries. Azure makes some really good batteries. Come on, get in there. Ooh, that's difficult. 8-gauge wire going into a 6.5 bullet. Woo! My God, almost got a hot tool. No, I'm not even gonna say that meme. That's horrible. But it is super difficult to get 8-gauge wire in a 6.5 millimeter bullet. So that's why I did not tin the what's it called? I did not tin the bullet. Normally I put a little bit of solder in there before, but you know, you don't have to. Just make sure your wire is tinned and stick it in there, heat it up. Come on, go, 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 heat, go. Now I'm gonna stick the solder in from the side, fill the rest of the bullet up, just to make sure we have a clean solder all the way around. Wow, that is hot. Ouch, son of a hamster, that's hot. Where the here it is. I need this thing. Alright, gonna let that cool real quick. Let's see, SMC HDL. Oh yeah, those are that's definitely an upgrade than what you had before. So yeah, you know, getting better batteries will definitely help, or it can hurt. If you don't have a good solder joint and your batteries push out more amperage, pushes harder, it's a good thing, but that's exactly why I'm putting 8-gauge wire on these guys right here. Because, you know, he's running good batteries. We need to make sure we set them up right, you know. We gotta do it right. All right, guys, it's about that time for me to say this again, copy and paste. For all the advice that I give out, I greatly appreciate any of you guys who do donate. And if you guys donate, you guys will get put up on the board of awesomeness over here. And yeah, so I'll have that out usually every stream, and it will show who donates. So all donations go to building the channel, me giving out true, genuine advice, and you know, so just good stuff all around. And just for me to do this more often with you guys. So yeah, so I do appreciate if you guys donate, and if you don't, screw you. No, I'm just kidding. It's completely fine. It is completely fine. Completely fine. Because I like doing this. I love doing this. I love giving out good advice and, you know, helping people out. Also got to make sure that, you know, when you solder a lot and your iron's on for often, oh my God, for like a pretty decent while, got to make sure that you clean it. For reflux the tip, make sure it's super shiny. Yeah, so the fan is actually sucking all the whatchamacallit, all the smoke out to the right. That's what you want. We'll let it burn off a little bit. Then we're gonna clean it. Let's see, look at that. That's a nice clean tip, super shiny. That's exactly what you want. If you see black on it, that's what you don't want, because heat's gonna transfer not too well. It's not gonna transfer too well. Okay, got to make sure this wire is as skinny as possible, or the tin at least of it is skinny as possible. Okay, let me make sure he's okay, we're fine. Hopefully you guys can see. Oh, of course you can't. Look at that. Look at that. Very nice. We're going to learn today, guys. You guys are going to see. Okay. Is it possible to install an RC boat motor? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, an RC motor is an RC motor. They don't exactly say, like, oh, is it a boat motor or not? You know, there are marine applications. You could actually put this in a boat. You could literally put this guy in a boat. You just got to put the water cooling jacket in it, you know? So you could use anything and anything. Just make sure you got cooling methods down. I'm going to play with fire now. Oh, there you go. Just going to heat it up just enough so we could slightly tin the inside of this bullet. Okay. And then we're going to do this guy now. I don't have the torch directly on it. It's slightly under because I don't want it getting, you know, crazy hot. But then again, we need that temperature to get this 8-gauge wire in here. Okay, now I was on it. I'm going to kind of rotate and squeeze, rotate and squeeze. There we go. Haha. Perfect. That was perfect. And we just want to let it, ouch. We want to let it cool. I was going to say dry. Just like that. That was actually perfect what I just did right there. And if you tin the wire enough, you're not going to need to actually put too much solder in the actual bullet. Because it's already an oversized application. If you use standard 10-gauge wire, what comes on the motor normally, you might need to add a little bit. But I need some more weight over here. That's 40mm fan. 40mm fan that I use that doesn't require an additional battery. I actually like the Power Hobby one. Power Hobby makes a metal 40x40. It's like $16 or whatever it is. That's the one that I put on, if you saw Chimpy Peppers on Instagram, I did a car for him, and he, I used one of those fans on that Gorgon, exactly where it's supposed to go. Drink up, Buttercup. I gotta make sure we fill up this bullet with solder. Yeah, I think it's about good. Hope so. I'm gonna apply a torch to it once. Take the car for a test once it's not cold. Yeah, gotta be careful with that cold. I know once I pull it out slightly, it's gonna want to suck in a little bit. Yeah. There you go. Okie dokie. Alright, we're going to let that cool for a little bit. Where's my little nipper things? Now this right here, you could clamp it on any metal kind of thing, and it will help draw heat away from going back down the wire, and it'll actually get sucked into this metal, obviously. It will get sucked into this metal clamp. Same thing with this side. You'll feel the heat over here. This is one way to take heat away from your main source. That's expensive, and you don't want it to get back to the motor, obviously, or desolder your main lead, because we have a lot of heat here. We use an open torch. Should be fine now. There you go. There's another bullet, and then I'm going to do a cleaning process after, which makes the thing look beautiful. I might have to make this one perfectly straight because I don't like when they're not perfectly straight. Okay, lock and load number. Yeah, mother father, you guys saw that? Oh, I was putting the bullet on it and didn't realize the tip of it is hot. I will not be doing that again. So, you know, hope you enjoy. All right. Once again, we're going to slightly tin the inside. Just make sure it's got some solder. Just like that. Nothing too crazy. Let's see. Let's see. Can you put out a link? I would love to put out a link, but my hands are a little bit tied right now. If you could go on Instagram, I could get you the link 1000% once I'm done with this, and I could send it to you there. It would just be a lot bit easier, just because I want to make sure while the iron is on, I'm doing this and getting it done. Yeah. But, I mean, they're all pretty much the same. Personally, I like the Power Hobby 40s. This is almost the same thing. This is in my spare parts thing. This is a 50 by 50. So it's a skinny guy, but it blows a lot of air without having to use an extra battery. So that would go actually on top of a XLX2. But if you want a 40 mil, obviously just get the 40 millimeter one. But yeah, text me on Instagram and I'll show it to you. It's not too hard to find. Okie dokie. Torchy. Super hot, super hot. Come on. Woo! You're just able to squeeze that guy in. And what's good about this is that it really holds in well. All right, so here's actually another cool way that I'll show you guys to add solder instead of using an iron. I was like an idiot, honestly. I should have just done this from before. So we have our torch. We're torching this thing. We're torching this guy up. All right, make sure, and I don't have it directly on the bullet. I have it slightly under it, just so I could maintain the heat. Now there's a little hole on the top that I could add my solder. Just like that. Just a little bit at a time to let it flow. Maybe some on the sides as well. You know, you just want to make sure you get like a really good connection all the way around. And bada bing, bada boom. That's how we do. Make sure when it cools off, make sure the bullet is the correct direction. Yeah, this is a perfect solder right here. I'm gonna have to go back to the other one. Yeah, we're gonna let that cool. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. This is a great demo. When you have time, please, can you make this live soldering session as a video and share links to your torch, soldering iron, and fluff? Okay, hang on. Let me zoom out. Oh my God, I'm ugly zoomed in. All right, so this is just a micro torch. Just go on Amazon. Just type in micro torch, Amazon, and buy one. Or go to like Home Depot. They have them for like 15, 20 bucks. And then, you're gonna need some butane. And actually, I keep it all the way over there because this thing's explosive, obviously. This is what you put in the bottom side of this, and that's what gives, this is the gas. So you need micro torch, Home Depot, Amazon, whatever. This you're gonna have to get at Home Depot. They won't sell this at like Walmart or anything. It's a Weller 80-watt iron. Make sure you get the 80-watt, not the 60-watt. Look on Amazon. It should be like 20, 30 bucks or something like that. SP80NUS. That's the part number. How do I have it memorized? Is because I was going crazy with irons trying to find a good one until I found this one. Looked up reviews 100 times, and since 2018 I've been using it. So that's that. These things, these are hemostat things or whatever. They're like locking pliers. I use this to hold my bullets. You don't need a crazy jig. Personally, I like two pairs of vice grips, two of these hemostat things, you know. You just got to use what's comfortable for you. And you'll go a long way. Once you find a process of how to solder, you know, of how to do it right, not only how to do it right, but to get comfortable with what you got, that's how you'll get a lot better. See, now this bullet's damn near cold since I had the this little grip thing. So even one of these, Harbor Freight. Go to Harbor Freight. That place is Candyland. Now all I'm doing right now is just cleaning like the booger off, because sometimes you'll add, or I'll add a little bit more solder and it will leak out of the bottom. And with the iron, you just want to slightly like ease it off, just so it doesn't look like crap when you put the shrink wrap over. Yeah, I'm gonna clean this one up real quick actually. So you can see there's a big like solder thing over here. You can apply heat. Yeah, guys, if you're, I mean, there's nothing wrong with those $100, $200 irons, you know. There's nothing wrong with them. But you'll never see me have one, ever. And I don't need another iron in this hobby. I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, I know what's good out there. And still, I'm still married to this damn Weller. Married in a good way. I friggin' love it. I don't want to get rid of it. I don't care if it takes 2 to 3 minutes to heat up. That's the amount of time you're going to have to take to prep. If you're in a rush to solder, you shouldn't be soldering. How's that for some advice? But yeah, miniature, yeah, exactly, miniature, you know. Just got to make sure you get the right stuff. It doesn't even, there's no wrong way. There's no wrong tool for you to get. I personally like my vice grips, holding my hemostat, a torch, and just solder a couple 100 times, and you'll be a monster at soldering. Doesn't matter what it is. Here's what I'm gonna do actually. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's how we make it look nice and professional right there. Now it's even with the whatchamacallit. Yeah, I think this is already filled all the way up. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. And then we could just wipe the solder schmutz off the insulation, which is super easy because it doesn't want to stick to the insulation. Just gonna wait a little bit for that. Yeah, I do actually have a couple soldering videos. I have one doing a motor. Actually, I think it's the same exact motor. It's just a different KV from like 8-9 years ago. Oh my. And I really zoomed in on that. I didn't have a tripod. I had it balancing on my shelf, but I would check that out. I soldered wires on the motor, and it's almost the same thing. This is just more in depth. Okay, seems to be good. There you go. Solder comes right off as expected. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so we're good here with 1, good with 2, and number 3. I just want to. You see how it's like slightly off? It's slightly to the right. I will not sleep right at night knowing that it's slightly to the right. That's me. You know, I'm not going to let someone. If that's how I feel about it, I'm not going to let someone who buys from me have a motor, or you know, buy any motor off me where the bullet, or even an ESC or whatever, is like crooked to the right. That just shows like, oh, I'm in a rush, and you know, sloppiness. We do not like being sloppy. So again, we're going to heat it up after it cooled because we don't want to keep the heat on it. And all I'm going to do, whoop, whoop, let's not touch it. All I'm going to do is actually kind of move the solder back a little, make it look professional. Bam. That never fails. It really doesn't. Use like a washcloth, paper towel, and it just goes right over. There you go. I just felt it release. All right. There you gonna put this thing on here to absorb some of the heat. Yeah, I don't like when bullets are slightly crossed. I don't like it. There you go. Zoom in just like that. Alrighty. Who are you saying no you're okay to, Courtney? No, I'm okay. I don't know. I didn't say anything. Alright. Good. Very good. I'm going to clean some of the schmutz off real quick. Where'd it go? There it is. Now you want obviously the most contact, the gold contact on it. That's the best way to really transfer gold is a really good kind of metal, the high electrical conductivity. Okay, bam. All right, dunzo, dunzo, dunzo. Ooh, these things are hot. All right, so now that we got these things like this, I could move this. Where, oh, where? Here it is. All right, now time for shrink wrap. Oh, I gotta get some scissors, some good scissors. Hang on, guys. Some scissors. Ugh. All right, here we go. Now, again, this is Harbor Freight right here. I'm just cutting 3 even strips. 2. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay. All right. Oh, before I even put this on, I'll show you guys what I like to do as a finesse. Alcohol. You guys can get this anywhere. I shouldn't really have to tell you where to get alcohol, like, you know, Walmart. Paper towel. Before we even put this stuff on, actually, I'm going to close this up real quick. With something metal, something that, oh, sorry, something metal that you can scrape with. The lead, the contact of this, we're going to clean this. All right, Courtney, all good. No worries. You'll see that there's flux that eventually runs down when you solder. You want to clean that off. So what I'm doing right now is agitating it and lifting up a lot of that flux. It's not completely cleaning it though, but that's what the alcohol is for. And I just go like this all the way around. Whether it looks clean or not, you know, we want to try to get a lot of the flux off, just so not only does it look good, but when it holds onto its female partner connector in the ESC, it's not gonna, you know, let go. But yeah, Courtney, just go on Power Hobby's website and look up a 40 millimeter high-speed brushless fan. It's like 17 bucks. All right, it's like we're making hibachi. We're making some hibachi. All right, shut up, Brandon. Not funny. All right, now I put the alcohol on this, and then what I'm just gonna do is just simply, there's no right or wrong way to do this, just clean the contact. Clean the contact. Twist it, pull it, doesn't matter. Make sure you just clean the actual bullet. And this will actually also get all the grease off, the flux off, other, you know, stuff from your hand that could prevent electrical efficiency transfer from contact to contact. Okay, gonna get that away. We're gonna move it away from the torch because we don't want to blow up. And all right, so now you guys can see. Super clean, super clean. You see how shiny they are? That's what you want. You want them to be shiny. 8-gauge wire and shiny. Ooh, this motor's gonna run. This motor's gonna tick. All right, now the torch. I kind of like this zoom angle, kind of. This zoom angle kind of shows exactly, you know, everything without, you know, being too far in and its quality is cut. Okay, vice grips, hemostat, done. I'm turning the iron off now because we don't need to. And I'm going to show you guys what to do with the iron when we're done. Okay, we're going to play with some fire real quick. Making sure it looks nice and professional. And you don't want to put a lot of direct heat on it, so notice how I'm like 5 inches away from it. You know. Just like that, we have our one bullet. Very nice. Let's go for 2. And it's okay if you have a little bit of schmutz or dripping on the side of the bullet. It's, you know, if you have it even elevation, the shrink wrap's going to cover it up. But as long as you have a good solder joint, that's what you really need to care about. You could get into the finesse of it afterward. You know, just like over here, there's a little bit of schmutz. That's okay. As long as it's not on the main contact, you know, just make sure it looks clean for the most part. Just trying to make sure my eyeballs can see this. Okay. Fell down a little bit. Okay. And there we go. Okay. And here we go, guys. We have our beautifully soldered motor. We have our 8-gauge wire on this thing. You guys can see the bullets. They're not perfect because it's oversized wire on a smaller terminal, but they're pretty darn good, and they're not going to go anywhere. That's the biggest thing. You don't want them going anywhere. But this is beautiful right here. This is exactly what you want. You know, motor 100% is not going to desolder. Hopefully not hopefully, the ESC blows up before the motor based on the solder. But yeah, very nice solder. It looks almost factory. It's very hard to do with what's it called, wire. Let me just unzoom here. Very hard to do on lead-free solder. I'm using silver solder, so it's a higher grade solder than standard RC crap. All I'm doing is just cleaning the iron. All right, done. We did this. This guy's happy and done. And cleanup time. That goes back. This goes here. We're good with our bullets. Okay, hemostat goes back. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I dropped you. It's all right. Okay, we're just about done here. Not too bad, not too bad. We're not doing a full limitless build like we did a few weeks ago. There's my vacuum. But yeah, another thing when you solder and you do this kind of work, always make sure your stuff is clean. I cannot stand a dirty workbench. Oh, good heavens. I hate it. I love being organized. Hi, do you own your own hobby store, Ronnie? No, sir, I do not. I do not own my own hobby store. I was going to buy one, actually, like 6 months or so ago. I was literally going to buy one, but, you know, no big deal. It didn't fall through. Ooh, we're probably going to want to... I don't know how that bullet got squeezed out a little bit. I gotta make sure all these contacts are not squozed in which I see a couple of them are. So when you're doing this stuff, you need to make sure that you don't, you know, move these springs in too much, because obviously when you hold them, you do some solder work to it, you know. Want to make sure that we have as much contact as possible without them being bent inwards, because then it's not going to hold into the bullet. That you really don't want to do. But yeah, Ronnie, no, I do not own my own hobby store. I used to work at one for 7 years, and I've just been, that was my full-time job originally, and I was doing YouTube on the side, but now I'm doing it full-time. I'm doing all stuff for myself, and yeah, so on and so forth. So, I thought about it, and I was going to go about it, but no biggie, no biggie, no biggie. I'd rather do YouTube full time, do these side builds on the side. I'd love to do YouTube full time. Okay, but here we go. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have our nicely soldered 6.5mm bullets for Mr. Calvin, 8-gauge wire converted, 2650 V2 motor. This thing is brand spanking new, and it smells like it's going to run fast. It does. On 6S, no prep, this thing's going to be thick. This thing is going to be, I'm not going to curse. This thing is going to be wicked. And a lot of people, like, for drag race, they normally go, like, Steve New, TP, and those are incredible. I would personally go TP for drag, probably. But you're also missing, like, efficiency also gets you power. This thing on 6S in a Arrma Limitless or a Stretch Typhon, this thing would haul ass, guaranteed. And that's what, that's what he's going to do. Brand new V2 2650 on 6S, no prep. This thing's going to be killer on no prep. On prep, it might struggle just because it's not like a big can motor. It's not a thick motor or long motor. So no prep, this thing is going to be lightweight. It's going to spool up quick. This thing's going to be a weapon. It will. I guarantee it. Let's see. Any reason why heat shrink was placed at bullet end but not at motor end? Well, you don't really need to do shrink wrap on these ends just because, I don't know. I mean, there's really no way to get the heat shrink on, but 99% of the time, it's always left open. Usually with open solder tab motor designs, you don't really use shrink wrap. You just solder directly there. If it comes off, it's going to melt through the heat shrink anyway, but it doesn't matter. As long as they don't touch, as long as they don't touch, as long as they're not too wiggly, as long as your solder doesn't drool over on the side, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's that. Let's see. I've been watching you for years, and your knowledge of speed is awesome. I appreciate that, Ronnie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The only reason why I have a lot of knowledge is because I screwed up a lot. Screw up, and you learn a lot. That's the way to do it, unfortunately. And, yeah. Ow, mother, father, that damn solder's prickly. Be careful. Dan Amadeo on a short ride, and I know it's not easy to answer this, but what would be your best choice? What would be your choice if you could only have one set? One set? Chassis, ESC, motor, remote control, out of everything I've tested. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there. There's a lot of crap out there, too. I mean, if I were to have, like, one car, is that what you mean? Like, out of everything I've tested, one car, one ESC, one motor, one chassis, one remote, like all that stuff. I mean, I pretty much already have it. It's, Typhon 6S 2200. Exactly what Midnight is exactly what my easy, simple dream build would be. Where the hell is he, by the way? Oh, he's back over there. I still got to do maintenance on him from doing the burnout. There's rubber and tire everywhere. I still got to take that motor out. But yeah, I would say Midnight. And a more extreme version of Midnight is Shockwave, where he's stretched. He's got a 1721 2400 kV speedrun castle motor, XLX2. Run that thing on 4S 120. 4S 120 miles an hour, 6S easily 140. And that's the one with the active wings. So personally, I love the Typhon, Arrma Typhon, and that's what this thing could go in. You could run this thing on 4S and an Arrma Typhon and break 100 like, oh my god, yesterday. But yeah, I love my Midnight build just because I love Shockwave, because I don't run Shockwave that much. But he was the original one that boosted the channel. The original logo, if you guys, wherever the hell the logo is, with the EDF, with the jet in the front, that's Shockwave before I stretched him, years before. But if, you know, easy, simple, sweet build, it would be basically all the upgraded TLR parts, but also limitless parts, limitless diffs on an Arrma Typhon, which would be Midnight, the speedrun specific Typhon with a 2200 X8S. Nothing crazy. Run that with whatever the hell remote receiver you want. You know, whatever runs good. Spectrum. I like my my Radio Link. I love my Radio Link. I love it, and I'm happy. I don't need to go big block 2 motor, this, that. I have that stuff, but you don't need, you know, all that stuff. That's my dream build. Exactly what Midnight is what I've dreamt of having probably 10 years ago, and I built it in 2 days. You know, it's a sweet car. Oh, here's a pinning gear. I'm not going to put it on all the way, but this is what, a 30? Yeah, this is a 30. This is what I ran on Midnight. What I ran on Midnight to do 120 with the 2200 kV. Super easy, super duper easy gearing. Let's see, yeah. Ronnie Creason, do you think they should make a 5th scale Typhon? Man, I was telling my rep for probably 4 or 5 years. I'm like, if you guys have a large scale buggy, let me in on it. Just because the Typhon's my favorite car. It is. The Typhon is way more my favorite over a Limitless. The Limitless is sweet, you know, but Typhon is, you got to make it into something, which is why I like it, you know. If you see a Typhon perform well, you know the person who owned it gave it love. It's easy to make a Limitless go fast, you know. Benjamin, I have a DRC 1421. I don't know. Bingo. I don't know what a 1421, and I broke the suspension arms. Do you know where I can get metal parts? Oh, I don't know. So DRC, I believe, is like an Amazon eBay brand. I would just go on wherever you bought it, see if they offer upgrades for it. But I don't know otherwise, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, also, speaking of motors, I'm not putting this on social media yet, but a local friend of mine, his name is otherwise known as Kill Mode. He's been out of the game for a few years, and he's trying to get out of it. I have this extremely rare, limited edition, oh shit, TP motor. It's a Kill Mode motor. And that's not why it's limited. I'm not going to show you guys exactly the KV, but a censored 4070 TP motor, and it's a Kill Mode edition. Oh my god. He was going to put these in production, but he, you know, he just doesn't want in anymore with the RC stuff. I get it, you know. So I traded him a couple Castle things for this, and I'm going to cherish this motor. I don't care. I'll tell you guys the KV. It's a 2900. 2900 TP 4070 CM. Censored. Rare. This is rare. Why? I'll show you guys. Let me take these little brackets off because I wanted to put like a little fan on it. That's all. But I'll do like an unboxing video and I'll run this motor at some point. Here's another motor. This is the motor that we just soldered. This is the 4070. Look at that. This thing is like almost twice the length. Almost twice the length. This thing is thick. It is. This is why it's rare. It's a Kill Mode. So this right here is actually a drag race motor, and you can run this thing on 8S 2900. I ran this thing at the original one, the green one, on 6S, and it's a badass motor. I don't know when I'm gonna install it, or you know, I'm afraid to even run this thing because Kill Mode's not doing any more of these. But yeah, future video, guys. I think it's sick. What time is it? 1:37. I gotta be at the gym at 2. I don't have to be. I want to be. let's see. I'm gonna do this. But yeah, when I move to Tallahassee, I'm gonna end up doing some kind of a some kind of drag motor, some kind of drag setup. I'll burn some rubber for you guys, and you know, I just don't mainly do drag race. I just don't care about that. That's just going from here to here. I like running my cars a little bit more. Okay, now that it's cool, I can start putting this stuff away. Bam, bam. I miss it. There we go. Bam. Here's my iron. Yeah, that's a 4070 is about as long, I believe, as a 1721 Castle. It's a pretty big motor. That motor can put out about like 16 horsepower. That motor's really aggressive. It's a CM. It's a 4070 CM, and it's censored, so it's not going to clog off the line. It's going to be smooth, just like this. See? Castle has a little sensor port. All right, we're just about done here today, guys. We're just about done. Just putting all this stuff back. This is going to Mr. Calvin. He's going to love this motor. He's going to love it, love it, love it. And it fits in here just the same. So the way I like to do things like factory, this is exactly like how I would want him to receive the motor, like as if it comes out of the factory like this. You know, it's just a thing that I like doing for my people. See? It's all snug. Snug as a bug in a rug. Oh, yeah, so motor's in there like that. The wires are pretty thick. And looks OEM, as if I did not touch it. We're done today, guys. I do appreciate all of you watching. Thank you for, oh crap, the sensor wire, hang on. I do appreciate all of you guys watching, watching in general. And yeah, I'm probably gonna have to skip a week or two regarding lives because I'll be moving to Tallahassee around the 26th, 27th. But yeah, I will miss you guys. I mean, I'm probably going to do another one next week, probably Wednesday-ish. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'll let you guys know. I'm probably going to repost the Colossus video in the week meantime because I'm not going to be doing YouTube. Benjamin, how much horsepower does Colossus have? Yes, that's the answer. He has the horsepower. So each can size 20 series, the 2028s from Castle, they've put out over 25 horsepower. I've gotten 26 horsepower out of one setup. Multiply that by 2, you're going to be over 50 horsepower, and it's legit. It's not pulling 50 horsepower just, you know, standing still, obviously, but it has the ability to dump out over 50 horsepower, which is, you know, it's a lot of power. It really is. But with his transmission in gear reduction, he pulled 28 amps to pull the school bus. That's how efficient everything was and how far in gear reduction it was. It's also how slow Colossus drives. You know, torque multiplication, you have to sacrifice speed. So he pulled like half a horsepower to pull the school bus. But under maximum load, theoretically, yes, he can 1000% proven with data pull over 50 horsepower. Obviously, if you change the gear ratio, run ADAS and all that crap, you know, that's that. So over 50 horsepower, you know. Ronnie Creason, I do the gym Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I used to go to the gym every day in my backer 10 years ago, and I have 22-inch arms and weigh 220 and 5'8". Woo! Big guy, well, bigger than me. Yeah, I used to go to the gym every day like a few years ago, till I got into, well, heavier into YouTube. I had to slow down with it and whatnot, and you know, I had to lay off. Now I go to the gym maybe once, twice a week. I don't go as often as I would like, but I'm also trying to, you know, do 5 different things for work, and that takes up a lot of my time, you know. but I think my peak of strength was, I think I was 155 pounds, and I'm still around that weight. 155 pounds. I was benching 255, and I think I stopped around that point. That was my max on bench. I have no idea how big my arms were, but you know, they were there. I have no idea, but I need to go more than likely, probably at least twice a week. I'm barely making it once a week. I'm barely doing that, and you know, I see the repercussions of it, but I miss going to the gym. But yeah, so if work is tight, in which I have so many more things to do, I have another probably 20 more hours of straight up work to do, and in 20 hours I'm going to get another 50 hours of work, you know, so going to the gym is difficult regarding time. But yeah, definitely be careful regarding your back, all that stuff. I don't want to be like Ronnie Coleman. Close in name, actually. You're very close in name, Ronnie Coleman. Yeah, he has like some kind of spine injury, or I don't know, but he's, you know, for the most part, kind of disabled. No, not disabled. He's just partially paralyzed. But yeah, so all right, guys. I got so much more crap to do. So I appreciate every single one of you who joined this live stream. We started this beautiful motor over here. Everything was well, and I hope you guys got a good visual of it. If you guys have any recommendations for what you want me to do, comment below, and I will be sure to address it next video or change it up or whatever. Just let me know. Constructive criticism. Oh my God, English. Constructive criticism is the name of the progression game. You know, if I want to progress and be better at lives, you know, you guys gotta let me know. All right, so as I said, we're just about done here. I appreciate all of you guys watching. Again, for all of you guys who want to contribute to the channel, all that goes to the channel, and I greatly appreciate if you guys do so. All right, guys, so we're done here. I appreciate it once again. Have a good one.